Jump off that exhausting hamster wheel and into balanced living with Dr. Marissa.
Promise you joy in the mystery.
Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah. Her mission, to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose, to be your personal advocate to live, laugh, love, learn. Her life motto, don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And welcome. You are tuned into Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on NBC News, CNBC News, and NBC Sports radio station KCAA, AM 1050, FM 102.3, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Spreaker, Audible, Amazon Music, Tiki Live, Rumble, and more. Why so many places? Because I want the maximum splatter zone for hope and happiness. Because I'm on a happy 88 mission. 88 million more happy people in the next 8 years. And thank you for joining me today. It is a momentous day. It is the first time I am live since the pandemic and the C word. And it is also wonderful because this is the first time I'm live as the morning show host. So some of you who have been following me for the past 515 consecutive weeks on the air, let me give myself a little applause for that. It's unbelievable and true that this show started that long ago, May 1st, 2012. About 3 months prior to that, I was woken up at like 4:30 in the morning, and the voice said, radio. And I went, radio? Why would I want to do radio? And the voice said, radio. And I went, what? Radio. Very insistent. And then I said, can we talk about this later? Because it's 4:30 in the morning. And the voice was very insistent. So I woke up, went to the computer, spent 44 minutes writing the manifesto, the name of the show, the guests that I'd like, the business plan, all of that. And the week after, I had a conversation with Tony Sweet over at UBN Radio TV, and that's what started it. And I've been here at KCAA for close to, I believe, 7 years. And I'm super excited and super happy that this has continued. Thank you so much for your support. I'm excited too. I have 2 new fabulous sound engineers this morning, Polly and Sam. Thank you so much ahead of time for helping me out for this show. And again, all the guys at KCAA, Fred Lundgren, the owner who put me in this position in the morning, as well as Mark Westwood, station manager, and then all the guys behind the scenes, Joe, Miguel, I'm missing someone. You'll have to text me who I'm missing, but I'm so grateful. Thank you so much, KCAA, my NBC News radio channel. And I'm going to have a lot of new things since we are live now. I get to be Dr. Marissa, the kinder, gentler Dr. Laura. Tuesdays and Thursdays, we're going to take callers. So if you're on right now, I know we have some people on the stream watching. You're welcome to put your comments in the comment so I know who is there and give you a shout out or a peace in, peace out for you while we're going on. Also, I have a compliment line. So if you have a compliment that you want to pay someone, all you have to do is the same line that if you're calling in with a question, that is 888-909-1050. That's 808-909-1050. So I'm super excited. We're going to get to be really reactive again. And that way I can answer your questions. Let's say you are troubled about your relationship or troubled about your job and career or troubled about your health and wellness, then guess what? I've got advice that I may not always use myself, but I absolutely want to help you. You all know that I'm the best-selling author of this book, 8 Ways to Happiness from Wherever You Are. And so I'll be taking stuff from the book and giving you some Happy 88 tools so that you can be happy 88% of the time. And that is, of course, part of my mission. All right. Let's see. Do we have any questions yet? I don't see anything. So I have a wonderful guest for you today to continue to celebrate Women's History Month. We are going to be talking to Colette Tracy. She's the author of Both Sides Now. She's a professor, like I used to be. Some of you know, I spent 10 years as a professor, actually. I was, Boston University in Brussels is where I started, the European Business School, and then at UCLA in the MBA school for 6 years. So I'm retired now, but she's still teaching, and I'm looking forward to reconnecting with her on the academic side of that, as well as she helps women. And so because it is Women's History Month, that I brought a guest on to help you with that. So if you have questions while she's talking, if you want to call in, see if our call-in line works, it's 909-888-1050. I'm so excited to be with you live. I'm so grateful for this opportunity. I just love my life. So we're going to take a break now for some news and weather and sports as usual, but don't go away. Keep it tuned here to Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, the station that leaves no listener behind. Perfect. Now I bring my guest on. Yay, we did the first segment. Did it work?
Hello.
Hi. Colette, we're doing the break right now.
Okay.
So they're going to cue me in, and then we're going to start. All right. Did you get my email about, you didn't get my email. So the first question is, who are you and what do you want?
I did get that.
Oh, you did that. Okay.
I just before time, yes, sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Did you accept on Facebook? Because I was going to tag you there because I'm on Facebook Live.
Yeah, I didn't see anything, but I'm definitely going to do that for sure. Thank you. But yeah, I hadn't done that.
Yeah, I was. Chris Norwood is saying hello. I just love this. This is something I haven't been able to do during the pandemic, right? Everything's been pre-recorded.
Yes. Yeah. It's so nice to be getting back to some kind of norm for us. Yeah. It's wonderful.
Take a look at the streaming on the bottom. Did I spell everything now right?
Yeah, I got something that popped. Okay. It looks good. Let me see.
And then
you got about a minute and 30 left.
Thank you. Are we going right? So I'll break again around the 30.
Okay.
Maybe 32. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
And then we
break every 15 if you want.
uh
You do it at 15, at 30, and then at 45.
okay, let's do that.
Okay.
And then I go right up until 59:50, right?
Do you want to go right up until 59:50?
You tell me.
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay, cool. How's it working on that end?
Pretty good.
Awesome.
There's a little bit of a lag in it,
Oh,
but yeah, just nothing.
Okay, cool.
You got about 30 seconds.
Thank you. It's really exciting to do live again because when I had Layla Ali on, she's like, she had a podcast, and she's like, you're in the big leagues.
Well, I hope I can say that to you someday.
I have 10 seconds.
3, 2, 1.
And welcome back. You are tuned into Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, NBC News Radio, AM 1050, FM 102.3, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere, including my YouTube channel. And we are live on YouTube right now. So I can finally say, go to YouTube, free subscribe, and stream live, because we've got so much great stuff coming up, because now it's hopefully post-pandemic, I'm going to be able to do that. And if you have a compliment that you want to pay someone, or if you want questions to answers, Tuesday and Thursday, you can call in at 888-909-1050. You can also ask questions on the comments. So peace in, peace out to all my Facebook friends that are tuned in right now, Steve Norwood, as well as on YouTube. Now, we're celebrating Women's History Month, and I can't think of a better person to bring here to talk to you. She's a professor, she's a coach, she's an author. Her name is Colette Tracy, and she helps women envision the life that they inspire to live. Without further ado, please welcome to my studio, Colette Tracy. Welcome, Colette.
Welcome. Thank you. I'm so honored to be here.
Absolutely. Can you sit up just a little closer so you can,
Sure.
The mic is not picking up all of you. I want to make sure that everybody gets the nuggets that are going to be put out for the rest of the show. So I don't have an answering machine. I have a questioning machine. And when you call me, it says, who are you and what do you want? So Colette Tracy, who are you and what do you want?
Okay. Well, and first of all, I'm a mother or a wife, a business person. I've been in business development for over 30 years and love psychology like you do. And I'm an author and a professor, and even still, and hopefully forever, a student. Lifelong learning.
Beautiful, beautiful. And tell me what it is that you help women with. Like, give me an example of someone that would come to you, and what kinds of things are they, maybe suffering from, or feeling, or thinking that they would come to you.
Yeah, I think that my philosophy is this. As a coach, as someone who's written a book now, I don't want to be the person that says, look at me, be me, right? I'm looking at you and saying, you, right? Find out who you are and what you want. Okay. So sometimes, any kind of life situation, but really to help the person, the woman, find what it is that she wants to do with her life, who she wants to be, without judgment, as long as it's not hurting her, as long as it's not hurting anyone else. We don't have to have grandiose ideas of who we want to be. Not everyone's the same. Not everyone wants that, right? So I think the whole key is really finding that mirror and holding it up to that person and letting her see the best things in herself. That's my goal. That's who I am. That's what I want to do. I want to help. I want to give hope to women, especially, at midlife. I think it gets more difficult for a lot of reasons that I wrote about in the book. And I think that we have to really be creative with our joy. We have to hold on to it when we have it, right? And sometimes I'm talking about even day-to-day joy, right? Because we're never promised another day. We're here now, and to try to take what we can out of that. And even if it's just little things that you really want, or, just something that's going to make your day, hold on to that feeling, guard it. It's precious. Yeah.
Now, you have a master's in organizational leadership and psychology. You're a certified professional life and career coach. What would you say is the most challenging thing about working with women who have tried everything and still not been able to find that life that they've aspired to?
I would say, help them to find what they want, not what society expects. I think a big part of our generation, Generation X and the baby boomers, we had a lot of expectations, especially for women. We thought, we need to be super women. I know that I thought that coming in. I still struggle with that to some extent.
So, what are you talking about? I am Superwoman.
That's what my husband says to me. You are Superwoman, but understand that Superwoman gets tired, and we do. But the thing is, don't try to define your own way of who you want to be in this world. That's the biggest thing. Know yourself. Figure out who you are, and then you could more easily go into the direction you really want to go once you know about yourself.
So the whole Cinderella cross with the American dream, you're told as a woman that you should, get a good education, get a good job, find a good man, have kids, then work, get promoted, do all of that, and then, contribute 50%, right, into everything. But you also end up doing the majority of the child rearing. Obviously, you're the only one that carries the child for 9 months, right? So when you meet professional, exhausted women, take me through that process. Like, what's the first thing that you would do with her?
Well, I would tell her that she deserves a break, right? She needs a break, and to take it for herself. Because one of the things, and it's become cliche almost, is that, like when you're on an airplane and you need oxygen, you want to put oxygen on your child or your significant other or whatnot, put it on yourself first. You cannot give from an empty cup. And I always try to keep this in mind in my own life. I can be the worst offender. I have a crazy schedule. I love my life too, right? But sometimes it gets exhausting, not going to lie. So, and we need to let women be okay with that, especially when you're younger, I think, you still, of course, as you get older, you feel like, oh, I'm invisible and things. But when you're younger, there's so much on you. Our society tells us what we have to be. I was a maniac. In my 20s, I had to have everything: the husband, the house, the education, then miraculously be pregnant by 30, right? And I was, but, things started to change. I had to adjust my life after that because, for children, I think that should be, but yeah, so I just, we are just, there's so much ingrained in us.
Right.
Let ourselves be who we want to be more so than what other people think. That's not an easy thing to do, especially with social media. I love it. Really, I do love social media, but I see where sometimes that can be very misleading for people, women, people, seeing somebody else's seemingly perfect life. Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I'm a giver. I post, but I don't necessarily read. So That way, it keeps me out of that, oh, that's not fair, or
Yeah.
that's, and all of it is just image anyways. You don't really know the depth of the truth of anyone, right? As you're saying.
Right. You don't.
Now, just curious, your husband, would you say he is your compliment in the sense that is he crazy schedule, not all that as you?
Yes, and he works very hard, but not as scheduled. No, not as scheduled as me. And I've been very blessed because we really didn't have. And I was telling, I think, somebody this the other day. Like, we didn't really have gender roles when we got married. We were 50% partners. It was not the traditional thing, and I think that really, for our parents' perspective, that was like, "What are you doing?" But it really had to be that way because financially, I've always backed him up. And with everything else, he has always backed me up. So we're blessed to have that kind of relationship. And it's not always easy to have that. I realize some people have a more difficult situation than others, for sure. Yeah, I've been blessed, definitely.
That's so great. That's so great.
Yeah.
How did you guys meet? I'm always curious about that stuff.
Oh my God. Well, this is going way back, and it's certainly going to show my age. We were 15 and we were on the CB radio. You can remember the CB radio.
Wow. No, I'm Asian. Oh wow, that's so cool. That's a long time ago. So he knows you inside out. Then you've grown together.
Yeah, we raised each other. We say that no offense to our parents, but yeah, we kind of did it our way. We raised each other our own way. So
wonderful, wonderful.
Thank
so we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, what I'd like to talk about is this whole both sides now, your book, and the specialness of midlife crisis. I actually call it midlife opportunity for women. So if you're listening or you know someone who's going through that phase where you re-examine everything and you wonder what the fork has happened to half of my life, then you're going to want to come back as I continue to chat for Women's History Month. Highlight and spotlight Colette Tracy. So that's when we come back here on Take My Advice. I'm Not Using It. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, the station that leaves no listener behind. Okay, I'm guys.
Hold on, you gotta. There's a 10-second lag, or just about. Yeah, you're good now.
Sorry. So I should wait 10 minutes before speaking after I take the bumper off?
What was that?
You said there's a 10-second lag, so I should not.
Just about. It's a little over 10 seconds, but.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in future, don't talk for 10 seconds after I've finished the bumper.
Okay.
Is that what you want me to do?
Well, no, you can still talk because I have it pointed down, and I can just skip over that part that you're talking.
Okay. So a couple of times I heard you guys in the background, but I was afraid to turn the volume down because then I couldn't hear you if you needed me. So I am going to turn it down. If you need something, can you text me? Yeah, you should have it. But I mean, we can, I want to stay on the line today because it's our first time. But once we get, I figure by Wednesday, we'll be good to just text. But actually, I need the countdown live. So we'll stay on the line. I'll just turn you down. And if I don't respond, then text me. How's that? Okay. Perfect. Colette, how you doing?
I'm really good. Thank you.
Good. You sound great. I think it's going great. Anything you want to?
Yeah.
Good. Anything you want to talk about that besides the book?
We could talk about, I've worked a lot with young people in college, and I was a college career coach. So we could talk about that a little if you want to talk about education. But actually, I'm good with whatever. You're very, very good, and you really put me at ease. So, yeah.
Oh, good. Thank you. All right. Thank you. Oh, we have someone that's chatting. Like Kenya Williams. Voom today. I don't know what that means. This is going way better than I thought it would, because I was a little bit nervous about the whole transition to live and 2 new engineers, but they're great.
Good. It seems very smooth. You're a pro, definitely. I can tell that.
Thank you. It's been a while. Thank you. And welcome back. You're tuned into Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get Balance with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on NBC News, CNBC News, and NBC Sports radio station KCAA, AM 1050, FM 102.3, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Spreaker, Stitcher, Audible, Amazon Music, and more. And I'm delighted that you're here today. We are live, which is the first time since hashtag BC19, the time before COVID, as I call it. And I'm delighted that we are back streaming on all the platforms as well live. So you can ask questions of my guest today, Colette Tracy, or you can ask questions on my Tuesday, Thursday call-in, where I give you some advice that I might not use, as well as call in with compliments. So that number is 888-909-1050. Write it down, because we're going to start that tomorrow, and I'm excited about it. As well, you can use the chat in the comment section on my Facebook. I'm Dr. Marissa. You can go and give me the finger there. I mean, a thumbs up, as well as on my YouTube channel live. And on my YouTube, you can also check out my playlist, my red carpet playlist, with interviews with people like Halle Berry, John Travolta, Quincy Jones, and wonderful other celebrities who take their limelight and use it to bring attention to things that could use the light of day. And today we have professor, coach, and author of Both Sides Now. Her name is Professor Colette Tracy. Welcome back.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to talk about midlife opportunity and women. What is it that happens? Is it the hormones? Or what is that period? What's special about that?
Well, the thing is that, and we don't talk about this much, right, in our society. And I've had a couple classes around the book, and women are just very anxious and excited, I should say, really, to be talking about it. But it's just a time when a woman's reproductive organs change, and it becomes to where she can no longer, conceive a child. And the hormones just kind of, are going away. And sometimes people describe it as an illness or something. It's just a natural part of our aging process.
Like puberty.
Yeah, it is. And in fact, I've compared it to puberty in the book.
Reverse puberty.
Yeah, it really is. And I think the symptoms are very similar, right? We don't talk about that either, but there's a lot of different things that go with it, mood and memory and changes in your physical body, feeling hot or cold, and depression and anxiety that you never had before, as a part of that process, hopefully until we adjust. But some of the symptoms I've talked to women, in later years, that still there are some of the symptoms can be bad. And I think we need to do whatever we can to help ourselves and try to minimize that. So that's probably one of the negatives, probably the largest about getting older in that time of life.
Mhm.
But there are other things too.
What's one tip that someone could take away right now if they're not feeling as good as they know they could? Or, let's say that typical movie version of waking up in midlife crisis or midlife opportunity and saying, my life is half over. What do I have to show for it? Yeah, I have a job and yeah, I've been a mom, but it's like I'm empty inside.
Mm-hmm.
And that sounds like it's sort of a presenting thing that you hear a lot, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what's something that someone could just do right away to feel a little bit of relief? Is there, or does it have to be a long process?
I think that we can have relief at any time. And I think the thing is to look at your life from a different perspective. A lot of times, and I'm not just saying gratitude, you hear a lot about gratitude, and I'm a firm believer in it because the more gratitude you give, the more joy you get and the more peace you get. But I would say try to take a different picture of your life emotionally, right? I always say, look at it from a perspective of maybe your younger self, or maybe when you were young, you always wanted to have a child, right? And you always wanted to be married, or whatever it is in your life that maybe you wanted or didn't want. You look at it now and say, I've got that. I've done that, right? So celebrate what you've done. And there's nobody who really hasn't done anything. Nobody. I mean, there's some things that you can celebrate. And it's hard to do sometimes, especially when we're in anxiety or depression. But I think the thing is to look at who you are, where you came from, and try to look at it from an outsider perspective, right? Because we just talked about the fact that people are always comparing themselves. I look at your life, Dr. Marissa, I see, an amazing life, a very confident, professional woman. Maybe when you're having a bad day, you don't see that. You might see someone for whatever you tell yourself. And we're going to have those days. But you have to start telling yourself another story. You want to change your life. If you want to it's not too late. It's never too late. I love that song by John Mayer, what is it? No such thing. I'm invincible as long as I'm alive, right? As long as I'm alive. And, we need to take care of our health. That's first and foremost, because I have never realized so much that, I'm still trying to do the dieting thing and the intermittent fasting and all this. And if you're not taking care of your nutrition, right, you're not doing the right things by yourself, your body's going to demand it, right? And you're going to feel it if you don't. You're going to feel it. When you need a break, take a break. If you need a break, take a break. It doesn't have to be, a trip around the world or something grandiose. Just get some rest, do some meditation, prayer, those kinds of things, just to get you, or exercise, really. One of my friends is, she's, very into exercising, and many people, and I should be more, I have to get back to it. I'm like off and on, but it really, it really balances your equilibrium and helps you, because you can't be thinking clearly when you're from an unbalanced place. You have to have that balance first.
Right. Absolutely. So you mentioned, I'm a student of the law of attraction. So I'm preaching to my choir for sure. My discipline is on any topic, I can find out what's wrong with it or what's right with it.
Yeah.
And I have that choice. I always say that's the biggest tool in our life is the CHIP word, choice, right?
Yeah.
What about women, though, who really, really wanted either to be married and they're still single at 50, okay, late 40s, 50, and or women who really wanted to have a child. They're married, but they cannot conceive, or for whatever reason, they don't have. How do you coach someone who cannot find, whose life maybe is phenomenal everywhere else, but the one thing they really wanted, they don't have?
Yeah, I think, first of all, with finding your significant other, I think, there's always hope. You can always do
I
that.
call that finding your insignificant other. Sorry.
But yeah, okay, that's that. But
Can you tell I'm happily divorced?
yeah, that's nothing wrong with that. But I'm just saying that, they can actually, and I think invest in yourself, because as women, we when we get married, when we have children, we have a family, extended family, we invest in ourselves somewhat, but we always feel bad about it. We always feel guilty about it. So if you have that opportunity, if you are single, look at it as an opportunity to really figure out what you want and who you are. There's nothing wrong. And I think the biggest problem with women in general, especially our generation, is that we were taught that it's wrong. If you look at the generation today, I love what I see on social media. Now, maybe they're not really loving themselves as much as they say, but everybody feels now and knows that you have to do that. So I would say focus on your female friends, focus on your career, or focus on your life, what makes you happy. And you have this time, and you've got to look at that as a gift. But I mean, it's easy for me to say, I know, because I've been essentially married since I was 15. So, but not really, but you know what I'm saying? So I try to speak to that with women. But I think take this time and put into yourself, like you have, Dr. Marissa, and, you have that glow and you have that spark. You will draw people to you. You will draw people to you, whatever your preference or whatnot. You don't have to be alone. You're not going to be lonely, but I think the key is really finding that love for yourself and confidence,
Absolutely. Yeah. It all starts with self. Like I joke around and people say, why are you by yourself, or why are you single? And I said, hey, I'm open to it, but I haven't found anyone who treats me as well as I treat myself. So I'm my best date right now. And that's cool. It's a to feel good about who you are, like not that extreme of I hate myself, self-loathing, that critical voice in your head that's always telling you that you're not all that.
Mm-hmm.
That end to, I think I'm hot shiitake and my shiitake doesn't stink, that both those extremes are so unhappy making.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I absolutely concur and agree. The balance of that to feel like you're 88% just pretty good shiitake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to understand too is that we all have those days, no matter how wonderful your life is on a consistent basis. We're human beings, like you say, 88% of the time we'll be happy.
Right.
That's absolutely true. If we're lucky, we're 88% of the time. That's a great thing. But yeah, but it is a constant way of switching the lens, I think. And I've done that. I've done that myself in my own life. I had depression really bad as a young person, which is in the book. And, but once I was balanced, once I had an equilibrium, right, you're able to work from there then, so I'm a firm believer in that. But you have got to talk to yourself, and you've got to, and allow yourself. I sometimes still to this day, I hate having a bad day. Like, why am I having a bad day? My husband will say, because you're not Superwoman, even though you're Superwoman, you're tired, take a break, So, but it's not, and you have to tell yourself that too. You really have to be, I read a really great book years ago called How to Be Your Own Best Friend. And this was back when it wasn't really, really in vogue talking. I was in my mid-20s. And I think that's a big deal.
Yeah, absolutely. Great points. And if you're wondering who I'm talking to today on my show, it's Professor Colette Tracy. She is a author, coach, and professor. I said professor already. And we're going to be right back to find out how to get her book, Both Sides Now, as well as find out if there's any questions. So if you have any questions, put them in the chat and I'll get them over here and we'll answer that for you. Don't go away. We'll be right back on Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, the station that leaves no listener behind. Okay, I can talk now. How's it going?
Good. Very good.
Going pretty good?
Yeah, I think so.
Awesome.
A little bit off. It's just that like 10-second gap. So I'm gonna try to tell you a little bit ahead of time when this time will start.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Oh, so when you say, that good idea. Good idea. That'll help. And I need to, I didn't bring in the short intro before. I'm going to bring in, I'm going to start with the promo for the compliment line for tomorrow. And then come on. Coolio. Huh?
Mhm.
You got about 2 minutes left.
Oh, perfect. So, how to get the book? Anything else?
Yeah, I think it's good. I just think I think another thing too is when we do get to midlife, a lot of times for many of us, and I'm speaking for myself and a lot of the women I've spoken to, is that we start to feel more confident, and I think that's really, I think we should maybe focus a little on the beauty of this time. That would be really good, because I want them, I want to be able to tell them what's good about it too.
Yeah, beautiful. So I'll throw that after we talk about where to get the book. I'll throw that back to you as, is there anything, left that you'd like to share?
Mhm.
Okay.
Thank you.
Of course. This is so fun. I love being live.
I like it too.
It's better than a pre-record. Oh, I've never pre-recorded, so that's the downside of this pandemic. Is, I mean, the upside is I learned 2 new programs on the computer.
Wow.
So. So the good news, guys, is I'm not making you run my boards. I'm running my own boards. They're talking to somebody else.
Mhm.
You got about less than 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1. All right, you're live.
Hi, my name's Dr. Marissa. You know me as the Asian Oprah and the celebrity host producer of your morning drive time show, 8 a.m., called Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show. And I'm on a happy 88 mission. That's 88 million more happy people in the next 8 years. And therefore, I'm delighted to tell you we're going to start something new that balances out all the bad news and gives you something to smile about. Yes, I'm starting a compliment line. So if there's a compliment that you want to pay someone, maybe your boss, maybe that cute person that you've got your eye on, then you can do so by calling 888-909-1050 and tell my screener that I have a compliment for Dr. Marissa. So I'll put you on so you can give that compliment and feel good about giving it, and the person receiving will feel good as well. There's more than one way to be happy with Dr. Marissa. Keep it tuned here to Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show, at 8 a.m. weekday mornings here on KCAA, the station that leaves no listener behind. And we're back. You're tuned into Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on NBC News, CNBC News, and NBC Sports radio station KCAA, AM 1050, FM 102.3, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere. All the major platforms, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, Amazon Music, Rumble, Tiki Live, and more. As well as you've noticed today, woohoo, we are live on Facebook. We're live on YouTube every single weekday morning at 8 a.m. I'm going to be splattering more hope and happiness on you because this is a show that does not do gossip, doesn't do scandals or K-words. No Kardashian or Kanye, I should say, talk anymore. Kim actually is doing some great things. So I'm not going to say Kardashian anymore. I'm just going to say no Kanye talk. All right. I am so delighted today to have to commemorate Women's History Month, a woman that helps women. Her name is Colette Tracy. Welcome back to the show. And how do we find your book, Both Sides Now?
It is on Amazon. And it's also at Barnes & Noble, and ebook and paperback. I haven't done the hardcover and Audible, but I'm planning on getting those underway in a few months.
Beautiful. I'm going to put you on the spot. Would you be willing to give one away for my Asian Oprah giveaway?
Oh, are you kidding? Of course. Of course.
Beautiful. So the first person to go to drmarissa.life, my virtual home, and in the subject line, put Both Sides Now. Then I'll know that you would like a free copy of the book. All right. Thank you for your Asian Oprah giveaway. For those of you who are new to me and wondering why I say Asian Oprah giveaway, I was actually introduced to Oprah as the Asian Oprah. So I did not come up with that myself. I was dubbed that by Michael Bernard Beckwith, my big brother and a friend of Oprah's. So that's how that happens. And you get a book, no cars yet, but hopefully we'll get there. I'm going to have to find out what the dealerships are around KCA and see what we can do. All right. So of course, I knew this would happen. We're at the end of the show, but is there one more nugget that you would like to share with all of the watchers and listeners today?
Thank you. Yes, Dr. Marissa. So I want to let women know that midlife beyond, is very positive in so many ways. And the reason actually that I wrote the book was because back in my early 50s, I was really wanting to celebrate the time in my life because I just never felt more confident and more solid and more balanced. So yeah, there are a lot of really good things you can tap into. And I like to help women know that the world is still, of course, their oyster. So oyster. Notice my little Chicago accent there.
Beautiful. That's great. And shout out to Jim Highland. He just said good morning. There's no question there. So he's a guy too. So we're looking for women's questions. But how do people find you if they want to work with you to coach?
Good question. I think LinkedIn would be the best way. I'm out there. I've got my profile out there. So that's probably the best way. Message me, and then I can give you all the other information. So.
Beautiful. So it's Colette Tracy, 1L, 2 T's. And the book is Both Sides Now. And you're going to be able to get a free copy if you are the first one to go to drmarissa.life and in the subject line put Both Sides Now. That's the Asian Oprah giveaway for the day. The last question I ask all my guests is, to who or what are you most grateful for? To who or what are you most grateful for?
Yeah, my family. my family in general. My brother, he passed away 3 years ago. It was the North Star in my life, and we were both, the first ones to go to college in our family and stuff like that. And I miss him terribly, but he definitely had a huge influence in my life. And, my husband, my family, brothers and sisters, nieces and nephews, kids, of course.
I was going to say, do you have kids?
Yeah.
They got in there at the end.
They're going to be really mad. But no, they have really inspired me the most, probably my kids. And you learn from your kids. You do. You really, really
absolutely.
Do.
Yeah. Patience and tolerance.
For
That's
sure.
what I joke. I say, I don't pray for patience because the last time I did that, I got teenagers. So we definitely don't want to do that. Well, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your information and wonderful nuggets. And yes, let's celebrate where we are, women. This is Women's History Month. If there's ever an excuse to treat yourself well, this is the month to do it. And there's so many people around who are willing to help you with that. Colette Tracy, definitely one of them. So thank you. And we'll see you when we see you.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
I'm so grateful. This is a dream come true. Thanks.
Thank you. All right. A little applause for her. Minute left where I just thank you so much for tuning in. I'm so excited that we're going to build this complete giant social platform as I am now officially live as of today. Tomorrow, we're going to give it a try, see if there's callers that call in. I know we're going to have to build a little. If you're on the drive, the number is 888-909-1050. And then I'll also be doing headlines to heartlines, which is a new thing that I will go out with. I don't know if maybe I didn't put it in, but I take what's going on in the news and try to give you a little hashtag positively opinionated version of it. So we don't have to wake up feeling like the world is going to hell in a handbasket or what's wrong with people. I want you to focus on what's right with people because I want you to have a really good day. This is Dr. Marissa reporting live from my living room during the pandemic. Live. Peace in, peace out, world peace through inner peace. And remember to have the best day ever.